Okay, it is time for piano. Here we are. All right, let's get there. There we are. Yay! Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has been like way too long. Kids, I'm so excited to get started on piano today. We are having a lovely time in our winter series, and I'm very excited to teach you some very cool and fun songs. But the first things you gotta do for me, if you can like and share this video, that would help me so much. You know that it always helps me. Every pair of eyes that gets to see my videos might know somebody who needs to find a piano teacher like me. So go ahead and like and share, okay? The next thing, of course, subscribe, right, my darlings? Subscribing is the best way to keep in touch with all of your favorite lessons, and especially if you are looking to watch or re-watch a lesson to really get those songs down. This is the best thing to do, so subscribe. The next thing is, please join our Discord server. We are having a really good time on there. We're pushing, I think, 170 members now, which is wonderful considering we only launched on January the 1st. So, we're 2 weeks in and we have almost 170 people. That is really good. So invite your friends, send them an invite link, and they can join our classes and play some really great piano songs with us, okay? The last thing, of course, take a moment to visit my Patreon page, right? So if you really want to see the the things that I do expand and really reach the right amount of people, go ahead and sign up on Patreon, okay? Patreon is the easiest way to send me a regular monthly donation from $3 a month all the way up to $90 a month, depending on what you want to get from me. So I would love to have you. All right, thanks so much. Great. Wonderful. Okay, so we have a few people watching. Very nice. Welcome to our YouTube Live. Let us go ahead and get started, okay? Now, we are in our lesson book, right? Our complete level 1. These are our silver books. We have been in this book since last March when we first started, okay? So let us turn to the last song we were perfecting in the fall, okay? That one was called The Windmill, page 49. All right? Okay. Here it is. What a fun song, huh? So go ahead and turn to page 49. And as a good warm-up for us today, we're going to play through the windmill together. Hands together. All right, so I'm going to switch to piano view, and let's find our spots. Here we go. All right. Woo, I changed my word. We're doing exploring this semester, okay? Okay, so for the windmill, we are in our butterfly middle C position, okay? And it begins with 3/4 time. We have our left hand finger 1 on middle C, and then our right hand finger 3 on the E above middle C. Okay? I'm going to count off, and we're going to play through the windmill all the way. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. All right. What did you think? Did you do a good job on it? Yay! That was so wonderful. Oh, yay! Hello, Sebastian. I'm so glad you could join us. Hey, we need to do a 1 second party because that was like amazing. Okay, are you ready? Let's do it. 1 second party, 1 second party. It's always good to do a 1 second party. You should feel great. You did a wonderful job on this song. Okay? Wonderful. Well, let's keep the energy going because we have some really cool stuff we're learning today, okay? Now, I want you to go ahead and turn the page to page 50, okay? All right, well, on page 50, there's a song here, okay? And I made a wonderfully informative post about this song on Facebook and Instagram. So we're going to be making some changes to this song, okay? And that's totally fine. We can make changes. I'm the teacher. You guys are the student. We're going to do a couple things, okay? First thing we're doing is we're changing the name of the song. We're going to change it to Indigenous Nations, okay? And if you need help spelling that, you could probably ask one of the grown-ups that's around, okay? Indigenous Nations. Couple other things we're changing are the lyrics in verse 1 and one word in verse 2. So if you need to go back and check that post, any of the grown-ups that are around can help you do that, okay? But we got to talk about the music, don't we? So there's a lot of interesting stuff happening here. There is a rhythmic pattern that needs to be followed. It's got this 8th note quarter rhythm that's really cool in the right hand. We also have this feeling of like an open fifths ostinato, okay? That's a fancy word, isn't it? I know some of you know what ostinato means, but basically it's like a repetitive pattern that can be followed in the left hand, okay? And it sort of follows this open fifths thing, right? It's like a finger 5 and a finger 1, okay? And that's happening in the left hand. Now, as we're going through, there's a lot of really interesting stuff happening, but some of it can be quite tricky. So when we go in here and start working on those notes, I need you to pay extra close attention to those things, okay? All right, well, let's begin with the right hand, okay? First thing I want you to do is grab your pencil. All right, I got my pencil. Do you have your pencil? You do, very good. Okay, so 8th note quarter, 8th note quarter, 8th notes quarter, 8th notes quarter. That looks really interesting, doesn't it? That pattern does repeat 4 times in the right hand. So if you need to make a big giant circle, you can. Yes. All right. Now, the left hand, like I said, is just a big open fifth to begin. Now, when we start looking at this as a whole for line 1, we notice that we're going to be in G position. I love G position. It's got that drama. It's got like that depth to it. It's like a nice, deep, strong position. So if you remember where G position was, let's go ahead and find it together, okay? I'm going to switch to piano view so we can do this together. Here we go. All right. G position, one of my favorites. Now, if you need a really, like a little hint to get to G position, remember, find your middle C, and you see where the pinky is on G, you're going to put your thumb there for your right hand. And again, if you're here for G position or C position in the left hand, remember wherever your finger 4 is D, you're going to put your thumb there. Okay? I know sometimes we need a little bit of help to find those positions, okay? Now, that pattern in the right hand is quite cool. I like it. 8th note quarter, 8th note quarter, 8th note quarter, 8th note quarter. All right? We notice that they gave us our finger 1, right hand on the G to begin. And our left hand is going to be playing that big fifth, okay? And look, we get to hold it tied for 8 beats. That's like forever. We can do this though, okay? So I'm going to count off very slowly, and I am going to say my right hand finger numbers as we play, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 1, 5, 4, 4, 5. Now a B flat with your 3, 3, 3, 5, 2, 2, 5. Now now a 1 with your right hand and a 5th. Staccato 5, 5, 5. And then it has a repeat on that line. Okay, let's play it one more time. Does that sound like a good plan? Yes, let's do it again. All right, 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 1, 5, 4, 4, 5, 3, 3, 5, 2, 2, 5, 1 with the 5th, 5, 5, 5, 1, 5, 5, 5. What do you think? It's really interesting, I'm telling you. Yes, okay. So if you remember, we've got a really interesting thing happening with those tied notes, right? The left hand is tied for, it feels like an eternity at that beginning, those first 2 measures. And then it kind of flip-flops. The right hand thumb for the last 2 measures of that line, those are tied for like an eternity, right? That's okay. They wrote it like that on purpose, okay? These notes in the left hand, when you're playing the last 2 measures of line 1, those quarter notes, staccato, they feel like they're taking forever, right? It's like, there's a reason for that, okay? Now, in my lesson, my Explore With Me lesson about indigenous music and hand drumming, one of the wonderful people that I interviewed, Mr. Frankie Arona, talked to me about how indigenous hand drumming, which this is kind of emulating or signifying, it's like the heartbeat of the earth. It's a reminder of the heartbeat within us and the heartbeat between all living things on the planet. Isn't that cool? Yes, it's so remarkable, the stuff that he taught me. So I really want you to think about that when you're playing these left-hand staccato notes, okay? They really make a difference in the way the song is heard, okay? Now, let's play line 1 again, and then we'll move on to line 2, because that's where it gets a little tricky, okay? All right, friends, you can do it. Let's switch to piano view. Okay, now this time, I'm not going to say anything when I play. I will still play nice and slowly though, okay? So find your G position. I've got my spot. I've got this one here too. Lovely. And I will count off, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Not bad. I am very impressed. That's much better, yeah. Remember, if you need to take this hands apart, you can do that, okay? And when we do practice with me on Monday, because you know I'm going to be here for practicing with you, we're going to really break it down to get those hard sections done together, okay? All right, now let's look at line 2. All right, now line 2 is really interesting, and I want to start with the left hand first by itself, because it's the easiest hand to do. I'm looking at my bass clef. I see that the very first note is the same note 4 times, and it is a finger 1 on D, okay? Now remember, when you're in G position, that's your finger 1, all right? So we play that 4 times. And then in the second measure of line 2, we move to a 5th. Remember that open 5th? It's kind of like the drum. Keep that heartbeat going, okay? It's going through the whole song, all right? And then we play that 5th 4 times. After that, we go back to a finger 1, 4 times on D. And then the final measure of line 2, back to the 5th. Okay, you see where it's going here? It's a pattern. Yes. So let's play that line, just the left hand by itself, okay? I'll switch to piano view so you can see. Here we go. Oh, it's so nice to be back online with you guys. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, ready, play. D, back to D, and the 5th. Now if you notice, there's actually a repeat sign at the end of that line. Now it gets weird there because that repeat, you think, oh, I just got to go back to the beginning. Nope. Guess what? That repeat sign is trying to bounce you back to the beginning of line 2 because there's 2 verses to this song, okay? The second verse there is right there, underneath there. So we have to play line 2 twice. So just keep that in mind as you're practicing, okay? Don't worry, we'll go over it on Monday together again, okay? Now let's look at the right hand because that's the one that's the trickiest on line 2, okay? Now, it begins still in G position, right? We're still there, but it's not beginning on G. It's actually beginning on A, finger 2, okay? 2, finger 2, all right? I'm gonna write a 2 so I don't forget. You should write it too. All right, so there's a finger 2. And I notice it still has that pattern, quarter, 8th note, quarter, quarter, right? So we have to follow that rhythmic pattern as well, okay? So we're gonna do A, B flat, C, skip back down to A, okay? 2, 2, 3, 4, back to 2. That's the first measure, okay? I told you it was a little tricky. If you need to write down these numbers, you can. So I'm gonna write 2, 2, 3, 4, skip to 2, all right? Now in the second measure, it's fairly simple. You're gonna play a finger 1 G, and then go all the way up to finger 5 D. And do it again. That's nice, we can do that. 1, 5, 1, 5, we can do that. Very good. Now the third measure of line 2 for the right hand, I'll give you a hint. It's just like the first measure of line 2. All right, we've got A, B flat, C, skip to A. Okay, so write that down if you need to. 2, 2, 3, 4, 2. And then the final measure of line 2, right hand, is a B flat, melodic skip third down to G, okay? B flat, G, G, okay? Are you still with me? Is it too hard or is it okay? What do you think? It's not too bad. It's just gonna take some practice. And I know you've got some really good practice habits now, so you're gonna be able to get this song, okay? Now let's go ahead and play the right hand line of the second line, okay? Just by itself. Let's see how it goes. All right, I'll put my pencil down. Do-do-do. All right, line 2. Ooh, and I see it's actually a strong forte. I missed that before. Okay, we'll talk about dynamics when we know the notes, okay? So starting with that finger 2 on A, this is how it sounds. Ready? 1, 2, ready, play. 2, 2, 3, 4, skip to 2, G up to D, G up to D, A, B flat, C, down to A, then up to B flat, skip to G, G, hold. Ooh, nice half note at the end. And again, that line repeats itself, doesn't it? Yes, my dears. Be very mindful of those repeats because that's what's sort of giving you your roadmap of the whole song, okay? Now, let's try to do this line hands together. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit tricky, okay? So it might take you a few more days of hands apart to get to the point where you feel comfortable doing hands together, okay? But I want you to be able to hear what it's supposed to sound like, okay? You can do it. Let's see how it goes. Okay. D position. There we are. Okay, we have B flats. Here we go. 1, 2. Ready, line 2. 2. Very nice. It's coming together. Doesn't it sound cool? Do you feel the heartbeat? Oh, I feel the heartbeat, don't you? Yes, it's like the earth is speaking to me. It's so wonderful. Oh my gosh, so great. Now, we have lines 3 and 4 left to learn, don't we? Eee! But you're lucky. Take a look at line 3. I want you to see if you can find something cool about that line. I noticed something. Line 3 is just like line 1. Yay! So we got lucky. So that means if you have been practicing really well line 1 of this piece, then you automatically know line 2. Okay? Yes, so it's got those tied note fifths in the left hand. We've got accent fifth and staccato, finger 5 on G's in the left hand. We have that same 8th note quarter pattern, 8th note quarter, and then that tied note at the end of that line, okay? Now, I think we could probably play that line, right? But I want you to look at line 4. Does that line look familiar? Analyze, analyze. I'm seeing the notes. They all look the same in the right hand. I'm here on the 3rd measure and the 4th measure. It's the same. Lucky guys. I mean, that's so great. So all the effort that you're going to be putting in to learn this piece, it's going to pay because you have learned like 3 times more of the song by just learning one line, that first one, huh? The only thing that changes on the last line is the dynamics change and the tempo changes, okay? We also have in the final measure of the entire song a half note, finger 5 on low G, okay? And that's our final note. There is a fermata sitting on top of it as well, okay? So just be aware of that. Now, in terms of the dynamics, do you remember what it means when you see like the alligator hairpin getting smaller? Do you remember the name of that thing? Diminuendo. Can you say that? Let me hear it. Diminuendo. Yeah, you got it. So the whole of line 4, you're going to be starting, well, it's actually kind of funny. It says you're going to start piano. That's kind of hard. Starting piano and then getting even softer to where it's sort of like drifting away. That's sort of the effect of this, okay? And then on top of the on top of the diminuendo, we have a retardando. There's a lot going on in that little line. So the retardando, if you remember, it's a gradual slowing down, okay? It's like as if you're running out of batteries or something, okay? So that's the effect that we're going to give at the end of this song, all right? Now, I've done a whole lot of talking and not a whole lot of playing. So let's go ahead and play lines 3 and 4 so you can hear exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Yay! All right. Here we go. Line 3 and line 4 of Indigenous Nations on page 50. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. isn't that wonderful? Yes. Really cool, right? Yes. Now, this song, again, it's supposed to be like the reminder of a heartbeat, right? The reminder of those indigenous drummers that are just, they're putting all of their entire being into their music, really reminding everybody of the connectedness of the earth. It's a beautiful thing, I'm telling you. Now, if you haven't had a chance to watch that Explore with me lesson that I made, I really recommend it. I had so much fun talking to Mr. Frankie Arona and Miss Jade Roberts. They're both from some like incredible tribes here in North America. So like I took their knowledge and I just soaked it up like a sponge. I mean, the conversations were incredible, and I'm so happy I got to spend that time with them and to pass that knowledge on to you. I felt like I was the student. Of course, it was the best feeling. So I think I want to try and continue that series. Maybe like we start exploring music from all over the world. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, what an opportunity, huh? So with the explore theme that we've got going on, right? Explore. We're gonna keep exploring some really amazing world music, okay? Now, that for the most part is the only song we're gonna be learning at the piano for this week. It's a good one to get us back into the groove of practicing, working really hard, and really working on those dynamics and the tempo and all the things that make this song special, okay? You're doing great. All right, so you can close your lesson book. Yay! Next, we have our theory book. You thought you weren't getting theory, huh? Surprise. Well, technically, you're not really getting anything new for theory. This is just a little reminder that if you haven't caught up on your theory, try to go all the way up to page 35, okay? 35 is a really good review of all of our musical terms in Italian. So if you need a good review, make sure you go all the way up to page 35. That will make you feel caught up with everything, okay? I know everybody's still trying to get back into it. That's okay, all right? Once you're done with 35, then you're going to be set up beautifully for next week's lesson, okay? Woohoo, we had fun. Wonderful. Well, we are finished with learning for today. Quick reminders, of course. We have Patreon. La 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 la. If you would like to support me regularly, I would love to have you as a patron, right? So pick something that works for you. I mean, there's no pressure here. $3 is like the cost of a coffee. It's not entirely that much, but it does help me because all of these software things and equipment and subscription things that I'm using to really boost up our piano community, they cost money. So I'm trying my best to get everything set up in the best possible way, and every little bit helps, okay? So even if it's $3, it helps, okay? So consider joining Patreon. Of course, the last, YouTube. Please subscribe. It's not hard now. I'm broadcasting live. Just hit the button. Y'all are the best. And then join our Discord. Yes, Discord's fun. If you haven't joined, you're missing out, okay? I have lots of things planned on our Discord server. We are going to be having a blast. Well, everyone's separated out into their classes, so you don't get like any random people just watching your stuff. It's just your classmates, okay? We also have a song requests channel. We have Composer of the Month. We have like really great stuff happening. So, and any and all announcements will be on Discord, okay? That's the primary place to reach me and reach any information going on with the studio, okay? All right, wonderful. Now we've got to end with our music quote, don't we? Did you miss music quotes? They're the best, yes. Okay, our music quote for this week comes from Aaron Copland, the American composer. This is what he says. So long as the human spirit thrives on this planet, music in some living form will accompany and sustain it and give it expressive meaning. Oh yeah. He really meant that, didn't he? Take a look. There's Mr. Aaron Copland, huh? That is amazing, right? So as long as there are human beings on this planet and the urge to express themselves, music will always exist, right? It's part of who we are. You know, just as we were talking about our indigenous communities that have like their drums, like it's the literal heartbeat of their tribes. That's the human spirit, like expressing itself. How beautiful is that? Thanks again. We had a good time. Thanks for joining live. A reminder, we will be here on YouTube every week for the next 8 weeks. All right, I'll see you soon.